Hello guys, my name is Evans and welcome to this last part in this video where we look at the last part of web authoring rather, and then we're going to get started with data analysis in the next video. So okay, so we ended on step number 10 and we're starting on the new section on style sheets, and the style sheet has been created but needs to be improved using the most efficient syntax. Okay, so this is very important guys, that you use the most efficient syntax. Okay, so make sure your style sheet contains no HTML. Okay, and I'll show you what they mean by this one. Okay, so open and examine the style sheet. Open and examine the style sheet M17 ss dot css. Okay, and we're supposed to add the following. So in other words, we're going to examine the existing style sheet, but we are going to add this. Okay, we are not modifying the style sheet, we are adding this. If the question said that the style sheet had errors and we're required to correct the errors, then we are going to modify the style sheet. But in this, rather to modify the style sheet by changing those errors that exist in the style sheet. But in this case, we're just told to add this stuff to the existing stuff that is in the style sheet. Okay, so let's go ahead and open the style sheet. I'm going to open it with front page, and I hope this is the same style sheet. So let's go. Is it the same style sheet, this one? Let me just verify that, because I need to make sure that all my web pages are actually existing in the same folder. Okay, and okay, so it should be the same one. Okay, so open, go to open, and so this is the existing style sheet. Okay, so we're just going to add the information that is up there. So the next thing that we want to do is to work on this one. So H1, H2, and H3, they have Cursiva Hebrew as their font family, and if this is not available, then we should use Kandara. If it's not available as well, or both, if both or if neither Cursiva Hebrew nor Kandara are available, then we are going to use the default, or the browser's default sans serif font. Okay, now guys, we were told to use the most efficient method of writing the code here. It's true that H1 and H2 and H3 have each of them this as their font style, okay, or font face rather. And it's true that you can write, you can assign this font family to each one of these separately. Okay, but if you do that, that is duplication of code, because this is the same for all three. So why not just pick up all three and assign the same stuff? Okay, so when you have code that is the same, let's go here. Notice that H1 and H2 and H3, all the text that is here is in one way or the other different from the other one. For example, the font weight is bold here, there's no font weight here, there's no font weight here. The font size is 42, the font size is 30, the font size is 24. You see that the text align is center, the text align is center, there's no text align here. Okay, so you cannot separate the three that we had initially. So we were told that first of all we need to set H1, H2, and H3 because they have got same font family, so we can give them the same name. Okay, so the name for the font family was is supposed to be Cursiva Hebrew. So this one is supposed to be given the priority. Okay, this one should be the first choice if you want. Okay, it should be the first choice. So it's supposed to be in quotes. If it's going to be the first choice, we want it as it is, the definite font face that we want, or font family that we want, is this one. Okay, so it's supposed to be Cursiva Hebrew. This is the only one that should go in quotes. Okay, if it is not there, then you're going to put a comma and type Kandara. Okay, if it is not there, then you're going to put a comma and type sans serif. Okay, so what this means is that H1, H2, and H3, they have the same font family. Now, one of the things that you're supposed to do is, in fact, I should have even put font family first so that you guys really understand. But I wanted first of all to put this so that you know where it goes. And then you put font family like that. Okay, so font family is supposed to be this one. Font family, then full colony, and then cursiva Hebrew, and then Kandara and sans serif. Okay, so you're supposed to start with font family, which is just font dash or hyphen family, full colony, and then the next one, which is supposed to be the one that is supposed to be the one with the highest priority, is supposed to be in quotes. Okay, so this one, guys, I hope I have made myself clear here, and you guys are not going to mess up on this one. The next part that we are supposed to do, so we are done with this one. The next part that we're supposed to set is the background image. Okay, the background image. Now we were told that the background image is supposed to be M17 bg1.jpg. Okay, now guys, the background image always goes inside the body tag. Okay, so inside the body tag, you're just going to add a semicolon to say you're now starting to create a new tag. Okay, a new CSS tag. Okay, so what you need to do now is to write background. Okay, remember we are adding the background image, so we need to provide the location for this image. Where are we going to find this image? So the URL for the image, we specify it in brackets. Now here you can use double quotes or you can use single quotes. You'll still be able to get the answer that you require. But the general syntax, guys, for using the background image and attribute, you're supposed to write background image full colony, and then you specify where am I going to find this background image. The URL for this background image, which is supposed to be taken inside the brackets. Okay, and then the two quotes, which means you want the name of this to be as it is. It's a string if you want, or it's text. Okay, so take the text let me just verify that it's supposed to be M17 bg1.jpg. Okay, so it's supposed to be M17 bg1.jpg. Okay, so that's the background image. So it's in quote because we want the exact text to be taken as it is. So look out for an exact match. Okay, where you're going to find a name which corresponds to this and take that name as the one which is going to be the background image. Okay, now the next thing that you're supposed to do, you guys, is that at the end of this one, we are told that the background image is supposed to be tiled, okay, or repeated. That is, a series of images are supposed to be joined together. You know what it means when you tile images. You guys, you do a lot of this stuff when you work on your pictures, and you guys, you can tile your pictures and create multiple pictures out of one single picture, and that's what's called tiling your pictures. Okay, so when you tile this picture, you kind of repeat, okay, the picture over and over, and then it is going to be next to each other. Each picture is going to be next to each other, and that is going to create an impression as though you have duplicated the pictures. And then this one is supposed to override the browser's default settings. Okay, so what this is going to do, or let's just go there. What we need to do now is to set the background repeat. Okay, so there's a function. Let me just put my semicolon. The semicolon means I'm starting a new attribute. So background, it's supposed to be background repeat. Okay, so this is a very important feature, you guys, that shows you the pattern or how this background is going to be background image is going to be displayed on your web page overall. Okay, so background image, okay, rather background repeat is supposed to be repeat. Okay, so you just say you're repeating this, and it's supposed to be when the image, because this image may be small, when it finishes or when it fits a certain portion, the next portion should be occupied by the same image, the next portion should be occupied by the same image, and this is what you mean by this one. Okay, so already if you try to preview this web page, you can see that the web page has actually changed. So the image, even though you cannot see this image, but you see that there are small boxes that are around here, and each box represents one image, and that's how the image kind of looks like. It's a nice shape, and it looks very good. But actually you have individual images that are here. Actually one image is about this size, so this is slightly one image, so you have got this duplicated one after the other, and then they appear to be tiled. Okay, so next thing that we're supposed to do is actually to okay, so we are done with this part. The next part was just to add the name, center number, and content number as a comment to the bottom of your style sheet, and then save this style sheet in your M17 HTML folder. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is to go to the style sheet, and before I add the comment, remember I talked about adding removing the borders from the table. So let's go ahead and remove the border. So how you remove the border? You just say table and the TD, okay, which represents the cells of the table. So we want everything, whether it's inside the table. If you come back here, you notice that inside the table, okay, and you notice the borders that are here. This one, this border here, and you have the outside borders. So all these borders should be eliminated. Okay, so TD, and then you put your and then how you're going to do that, you just say border, and you set the border attribute to 0. Please don't say border equal to 0. Just set border full colon 0. So the attribute is border, attribute name is border, and then the attribute value is supposed to be 0. And this is what you're going to. So let's preview it, and you'll see that the borders are not showing at all. This is excellent. And the last part, we're supposed to add a comment. So how you add the comment here is supposed to be / asterisk and then Chikasa Evans, and then ZM556 and 0001, and then how you finish or close the comment is asterisk again and /, and this is supposed to be the one that closes your comment. Okay, so save this style sheet in your work area, take a screenshot showing the contents of your style sheet, and place this in your evidence document. So let's go ahead and take our first screenshot. Save it first of all and take a screenshot. Include the top part here and take the screenshot like this. Okay, make sure that the screenshot, the font size is clearly visible. If it is not visible, zoom in so that this part is visible. Otherwise, if it's not visible, the examiner is going to give you some benefit of doubt. You may lose a mark also if the work is not clear. I know examiners, they have got tricks where they use magnifying glasses. They use magnifying glasses to read your text if it's not too clear. Okay, but don't give them that pain. Remember, they have got so many papers that are supposed to mark, and make sure that your work is as presentable as possible. Okay, so let's go ahead and open our evidence document and type our evidence first one here and place the screenshot there. So like I said, if this is not visible enough, you can also change the borders and stuff like that, trim it, but you can enlarge it if you want, like that, so that it is just actually visible, so that the examiner can really see the text that is there. Okay, mine is visible. I'm sure they can read this. Okay, even though they're not going to mark it. All right, so let's go to the question paper. So we're done with this step, and then now let's go ahead and do step 12, and with step 12 and then step 13 and 14, and you should be able to wind up the video. So step 12, a website is tested before it is uploaded to the internet. Hyperlinks will be tested as part of the test strategy. Okay, so list 4 questions in your own words that could be used within the test plan to test these hyperlinks, and then you're going to type out your list of the questions into your evidence document on under evidence 2. Okay, so now let's come back to the web page in question. So the web page in question is this one. Okay, well, just any web page that you're going to find, you're going to test hyperlinks. Now, hyperlinks, you guys, if I asked you to create a web page and I asked you to prove, and I gave you like this web page is supposed to link to multiple pages, okay, and you guys, I'm sure some of you have been to your school website and you've clicked on some links, and they have taken you to certain web pages. Some have taken you to the top of the page or some to the bottom of the page and stuff like that, and you've been able to see some of those things. Now, one of those things, if you guys, you are the one who were to create who was creating that web page for your school, and you wanted to present to the school and show them that your web page was working, and all the web pages linked to that website was actually working, you're going to test your hyperlinks. And the idea is that when you click on a particular web page, it's supposed to do what it's supposed to do, or when you click on a particular link, it's supposed to do what it's supposed to do. So let's go ahead and see what we can do to test the hyperlinks. So the first thing that you're going to do is to check if, or rather if it's a question, we are going to say, is the link to the email facility working? Okay, that's the first question. The next question that you can ask, is it opening the correct email program on let's say the user's computer? Okay, the user's computer. Okay, is it opening in the correct okay, so these are supposed to be question marks. So is the let me just zoom in a bit so that we can see, is the link to the email facility working? Okay, let's say the hyperlink. Okay, let's say the hyperlink, it will make more sense. Is the hyperlink to the email facility working, or to the email text, email image, okay, or whatever? Let's say email text. Yeah, this one we use the image. So let's say email image or image hyperlink. Yeah, remember they said in your own words, so I'm trying to find words. Is the hyperlink to the hyperlink of the image, or to the image of the image? English, I'm trying to find the correct words. Is the hyperlink of the is the hyperlink to the image, or from the image? The hyperlink from the image working? Okay, is it opening the correct email program on the computer, on the user's computer? That's another thing that you can look at. Okay, the other thing that you can test for hyperlinks, like in this case, we just have one hyperlink. Remember, we are working on the so if it's to the email application, then you want to verify that is actually the correct subject line. Okay, is it opening with the correct subject line? Okay, you can also check other things such as are links to external web pages working? What about are links, where am I? I've highlighted the text, and okay, so where are we here? So are links to the internal, or let's say anchors? Okay, are links or anchors, let's just say anchors working? Okay, or are links to anchors working? Okay, remember, this is just 4 marks. This is just 4 marks, so you need to state about 4 distinct points. Okay, so I'll end here, guys. Then evidence 3, display the web page in your browser if necessary. Resize it so that all the page can be seen, all text can be read, and the address bar is visible. So let's come back here, go to File, Preview in browser, and pick up my default browser, and make sure that you zoom in. So this, you need to zoom in so that everything is visible. Mine is already visible, so I'll just get this. Make sure that you get the image together with the browser, the browser visible on top there. Don't crop out the browser, otherwise you lose this mark. Okay, so go ahead and paste this one here. Okay, next one. And please don't crop out this, because some of you were cropping out this according to the examiner report, and you are trimming off the browser evidence that you displayed in your browser. And don't get a screenshot by preview. Please don't go to preview and get a screenshot of this. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Okay, you must preview it in the browser. Okay, so then step 13, or rather step this one, we're supposed to take a copy of the HTML source and place in your evidence document. So let's go ahead and get a copy of this HTML source. So go to code and select and copy this code and place it in your evidence document. Okay, so evidence 12, I don't know if that was evidence 12 or evidence what. Evidence 12, let me just verify so that we paste it in the correct place. So evidence 12, that's evidence 4. Okay, so that's 4 is here, so paste it here. That's the code. And next, you're supposed to go to step 13, open this style sheet. It's already open for us. Replace the background image bg1 with the image bg2, and save this style sheet in your whatever. Okay, so let's go there and go here, and we're supposed to change. So just go ahead and change the from image 1 to image 2, and change that, and see that it has actually changed. Okay, you see that it has actually changed because we've changed the image. Now what we're going to do here, we're going to save the style sheet and save the web page as well. And let's go ahead and go back to the question. So evidence wise, refresh your web page in your browser if necessary, resize it so that all the page can be seen, and everything here, and take a screenshot of the browser window and place this in your evidence. So we're going just to get a screenshot of this when it's run in the browser, preview in browser, and get a screenshot. Okay, okay, so get a screenshot of this, make sure the browser window is there and the web page is fully visible, and get this one and paste it under evidence 5. And then we go back to the question. Question 14 says, evaluate in your own words the change of background image. So in other words, you've been told, you notice the difference between these two images. Let's just go back to my my browser here. You've been told to evaluate the two, this one and this one. What is the difference? What can you see in terms of representation of appearance and the web page now that we've changed the two images? And this is where the evaluation comes up. What has the change done to this web page? Has it made it more good, more professional, and stuff like that? And we write our evaluation down here. So let's go ahead and write our evaluation according to what we see. So the web page, you notice that the web page overall does not look professional after putting the second image. Okay, secondly, the image does not blend well with the existing images on the web page. Okay, there are other things that you guys, when you just look at this one, you can tell. Okay, let me just, this is supposed to be image, the image. Okay, the other thing that you guys can tell is that the text color, notice that it's not fully visible here. So the text color is overshadowed by the image, or the background image, the background image provided by the second image. You can also you can also you can also talk about I was trying to say overshadowed, and Wade is telling me there's no such word. Okay, um, let me just say it's clouded. Yeah, clouded by the background. Okay, sometimes word is very funny. Let me just leave it as that. You guys, you know what I'm trying to say. Okay. So the other thing that I want to say, we've talked so much about the negativity of this changing this one, but we should also add some positive side of the first image. So, for example, the first image was the first image, like you guys were able to tell, was very professional. Okay, so the first image um, was very professional, giving a clear structure of the web page. Okay, it was more presentable, and then um, you can also talk about the let me see, what can we say, um, the text was standing out very well. Let me see how many marks are here. I don't have to add so many things because of time. There's just 4 marks, and I've listed 4 things, so that should be fine. This video has taken long, so let me just wind up the video with step number. Well, that should be the last one. This should be the last one, guys. Okay, so it's supposed to be no more than 100 words, and at least I've listed something. Okay, so this is at least not more than 100 words. That's about 52 words. Okay, so that should be fine. Okay, guys, let me stop this video here, and let me just quickly record the one to do with data analysis, and then because I want to finish this video, this paper rather, in the today before I go back home, so that I upload it and you guys you have a full paper to work with. Okay, so let me stop this video here, and I'll see you shortly in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and like my channel, and I'll see you shortly.